Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Computer Applications at Ozarka College. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. I wish Arkansas basketball was a little bit better, but that's a different story. But hopefully everybody had a good weekend. You're ready to get started this week. Now I did grade the Word Module 3 activities last week. Hopefully you've already gone in and looked at your grades for those and read the corresponding grading comments. If you haven't done that, I would encourage you to do that as soon as you can and let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about it. Most of the things that I had to count points off for were just minor formatting errors, just maybe not noticing a particular instruction to apply a particular type of formatting. It's real easy to kind of skip over one or two of those things. So the thing I would say on that is just make sure that you're taking the time after you complete the documents. Make sure that you go back line by line, even word by word, and make sure that everything's correct. Proofread, make sure, check all the formatting, all the content, and so forth. Make sure it's correct. Kind of compare it to the example that's given to you in the textbook. If you have questions about your grades for those activities, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Like I said, most of you did well, and I really appreciate the time and effort that you're putting into the completion of the assignments. So like I always tell you, keep up the good work. I really appreciate it. Now, on the word production exams, I finished grading those this morning. I graded a lot of them last week, but those of you that turned it in late on Friday, I graded the rest of those this morning. Most of you did extremely well on the word production exam. The only thing I really had to count points off for were just, like I said, mostly just little minor formatting errors, things that you kind of skipped over, formatting steps that some of you skipped over. But I try to be very specific when I grade the assignments and the exams. Just try to be very specific on what you missed and what you should have done to get those points. So I think that's very important to make sure that the feedback is very specific, and so that you know for next time, what you need to kind of work on, and make sure that you're getting those formatting steps correct. All right. Let's see. On our next set of assignments, or our next set of activities, we go to the activities page in my Ozarka. Right now, we are on week 6 of the semester, and since we just had work due late last week, you'll notice we don't have anything due this week, but we do have work due early next week. So you should be working on Excel Module 1 activities, which are due by Monday of next week, the 26th. Okay? So Monday, February 26th. So you've got right at a week to get those activities completed and submitted. Excel is a spreadsheet program. I'm sure most of you know what Excel is, but just in general terms, Excel allows us to keep track of financial and numerical data, which is obviously very critical for a business when a business is trying to make decisions, both kind of routine decisions and more complicated decisions. Both of those require financial data, numerical data, to make sure that the business is making good, sound decisions. So Excel allows us to not only keep track of that data, but also be able to make calculations based on those values. So we can do things like get the average of a group of numbers or a range of numbers. We can get the minimum value, the maximum value, totals. There's hundreds of different formulas that we can use in Excel to make calculations that we need to for the values in our worksheet. Okay, and then another thing that Excel allows us to do is once we have those calculations and we have all the values that are important to us in our worksheet, we can then make graphical representations of that data by using the chart feature in Microsoft Excel to create all types of graphs and charts. There are hundreds of different kinds that you can create, different combinations. And so for just about any purpose that a business would have, as far as keeping track of financial data and making graphical representations of that data, Excel allows us to do all those things. And so as you're working on Excel, Module 1, you're basically in Module 1, you're going to be introduced to just what Excel is, how to enter data into the cells, how to format the data in the cells, how to do some very basic calculations using, for example, the sum button to get totals and so forth. And so the main thing to keep in mind is just make sure you give yourself plenty of time to work through the Excel activities. They will take some time, especially if you haven't used Excel before or used it sparingly. It will take some time. But if you have questions as you're working on it, just let me know. Now, just as a reminder, if you click on the Assignment 1 link, I have some demonstration videos here that basically what I do in the demonstration videos is I take you step by step and show you exactly how to enter all of the data into the worksheet, and then how to make the calculations and how to create the chart and so forth. And so if you're finding it difficult to work through the textbook steps, then use the demonstration videos here. These are a good resource to use, especially those of you that are not real familiar with Excel and what it does. All right. Also, make sure that you're carefully reading through the instructions here that I've got on the assignment pages. Make sure that you're carefully reading through those. Of course, I make mention of the demonstration videos, but I also make mention of the fact that it's very important to actually insert the formulas and functions as specified in the instructions. There's a purpose to entering formulas and functions and not just the calculated values. The main purpose there is that when we insert formulas and functions to make the calculations, it automatically will recalculate those when we make changes to the worksheet. If you just, instead of entering the formulas and functions and just enter the calculated values, let's say you do the calculations on a calculator and then just put the calculated value into the worksheet, well, that's not going to work very well when you go in and you want to make changes to the worksheet, because then you're going to have to redo all those calculations by hand again. So you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of using Excel when you just type in the numbers where there should be calculations. So that's going to be one of the things I'm really going to focus in on. It's going to be a lot of points on the assignment, so be careful and make sure that you are following the instructions carefully and inserting the actual formulas and functions that it says in the instructions, instead of just seeing what the number shows on the final worksheet and just typing that in. Because again, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of using Excel. All right, so those formulas and functions are going to be a large portion of your grade. Also, when you get ready to do the chart towards the end of the assignments, Make sure that you carefully follow the instructions. If you do something out of order, or you forget to select both parts of the chart, then you're going to basically end up with a blank chart. If you don't select the labels range and the values range, then you're either going to end up with a chart that is not complete, or basically a blank chart, because you didn't select what you wanted included in the chart. So just be careful with that. And like I said, use the videos as a resource. That's a very valuable resource. So just make use of that, and just check all your formatting carefully. Check all your calculated values. Make sure those are correct. And if you see that a calculated value is incorrect, it can basically be caused by one of two things. Either the formula or function was entered incorrectly, or it could be that one or more of the numerical values that are part of that function or formula are entered incorrectly. And it's very easy to make those little mistakes. Just transposing two numbers in a cell can actually cause your calculated values to be off. And so sometimes it's difficult to find the error, but if you kind of think about the two things that can cause your calculated values to be incorrect, then it's a little bit easier to go back and backtrack and make sure that you have the correct formulas and functions and data in your worksheet. All right, so just kind of be working on that. And let me go back to the activities page here. There we go. So like I said, don't let that first module in Excel, the activities there that are due early next week, don't let it sneak up on you. Don't wait till next week to get started, because you probably won't get it all done. All right, so that's really all I have for you for today. Like I said, just let me know if you have questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you again sometime next week. Thank you.